So the best thing you can do first is look at like a major swing level, right? So if I delete everything, so usually you want to measure the moves from left to right. It doesn't say that you can't measure, what I mean by that. If I wanted to replicate this move here, I can grab it, from here to here. I can grab, as long as I keep the low the same and I'm looking for support, you can change your highs and know where the next support or resistance is, meaning that you can create Fib clusters, right? So if you guys read anything from Carolyn, the Fib Queen, you will know that you can do that, right? So if I'm grabbing, for instance, this swing here, which is fairly high, right? 157 to all-time highs, 350, so about $200. In between, there's a lot of lower highs, lower lows that got taken out with this, right? And, it changed the trends on this whole swing here. So I could potentially find this level here, and I can, figure out that 50% is a 222. And then the next set, I can grab again from here to the next level, and I can keep doing this off of the previous highs like this. And the more clusters you get in the area, for instance, like this one here, the easier it is for you to tell where the next level of support and where the resistance is, right? So here it doesn't look like a lot of resistance, but it looks like 191 is fairly decent. And then you see the bottom targets. Where are they lining up? They're happening around 112, 113. So if you're using Fibs as levels, you want to find the clusters, right? So, you have 112, you have 40. Do I think we can go to 40? Yeah. I mean, there's no reason why we can't go to 45 on the video. There's no absolutes in the market, so we can definitely do that. But when you're playing intraday levels, for instance, let's say I used AMD earlier as an example here. So here's AMD's open, right? Is this it? Today is the 6th. So here's the AMD's open, right? The blue line, the vertical is your open. We know this is your initial balance high. In this case, this would have been your orb high right here at 10 o'clock. You can grab the Fib, you can grab the Fib from the bottom to the top to see where the next support is for AMD. And you're taking basically the range today, the full range from high to low. And if you're grabbing from low to high, what are you looking for?
Resistance.
You're looking for resistance, correct? If I grab it from the top to the bottom, I'm looking also for the resistance, right? But I'm looking here, the initial one is where are we going to find the support and resistance? So I really would not go long on AMD till this here is taken out. When I want these to be, I want these to be taken out on either side in order for me to reach for the next levels. And right now, the natural path of, the easiest resistance or fall is towards the bottom side. And that's what this is telling us, right? So when you're looking for Fibs, you're trying to find a swing. For instance, this is a beautiful swing here. If I want to find where can this bounce to, and look, we just say that, 104.53 will be the bounce, and look what happens, right? I grab this, and that's where it hit, and it hit right on the penny, right? So this swing, what you're doing is you're measuring this swing right here. So if you grab, from the bottom, you grab to the top. This is how many? $9.95, right? If you grab that and you grab, let's say 50% of this swing, let's round it up to $10. That's $5 drop from the top. So if this is here is 109, 109 minus 5 is how much? It'll be 104.50. And where do we bounce? At 104.50, right? So when you're playing Fibs, a lot of people that that I see when they're fibbing stuff out, they look for like this here. They're like, oh yeah, man, I want to know where this is gonna. Sure, you can do that, but it's not a level for you if you're a day trader. Like this level here, if you're, let's say you're a scalper, yeah, you can definitely measure this here. If you're scalping, yeah, you break this level here, 7.
Hi, how are you?
And you see that you're hitting this level 127 perfectly. But you have, hold on, somebody's not on mute.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, we still muted here. So here you have to understand what kind of trader are you, just like we talked about yesterday in the class. If you're a scalper, this was it, guys. This was the entry that you wanted, right? You took this fib and you're like, hey, let's figure out if this is going to work. If you wanted to, grab a real swing for the puts and figure out this would be it right here. This would be the level that you want to play. So your entry was 107, the break, then you could re-add that 106.5 on the rejection, and here are your next levels right here, the 103 and 101 for the day. So if you took this, you can trim some and keep going, but also we have our, orbs that do the same fibs for us, same way, it's just that they are based on 30 minutes, right? So here I'm just grabbing random swigs that take out previous lows, previous highs. You want to grab a swing that takes out previous higher low or previous lower low or any of the pattern changes like a break of structure. You want to find those to basically fib it out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, so if you're fibbing something in 3 minutes, you have to trade it on 3 minutes too. You cannot, some people, I've seen some funny stuff. They take this, they'll take the weekly chart on AMD and they will say, and then they'll use the fibs like this one here and use that for day trading. You cannot do that. In order to hit these fibs, guys, it takes time. So from here, from all-time high, to get to the 50%, it took 3 months. These are, as I call them, like major fibs, right? You cannot trade this weekly fibs on daily charts or 3-minute charts. This is made up as your major levels, right? If you're shorting or something like that, these are your major levels that you want to play. So same like here, right? I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, well, where's this going to reject? Now I know that 99.47 is going to be pretty good support just on the previous swing that we had here. And look, almost perfect here. Tap, tap, 99.47, reclaim this 50. And, is there a chance that it's going to go to 107.63 now? Probably, yeah. There's a high chance it's going to go to the next level. And, people are screaming about this guy. Do we need to tell people where it's going to reject? Anyone know where this is rejecting right now?
Or below the previous day high.
What's this right here? Is this the imbalance that we had off the bear flag? Here's your bear flag. And we created an imbalance with the picked up volume. So now watch what happens when we come up to this imbalance right here. And who's pumping the market right now? Did you guys figure it out?
You said PPT. That lines up with VWAP.
Which stock are they using? They're using Apple right now to pump it. The WDC, they're trying to save it with Apple. Here's a 10-minute supply right here on Apple. We're approaching the same here. So this will be your level to do what right here?
Short.
Yeah, it's your short entry here. Look what we said last night. Short a rally if it breaks here. Look, did we say that?
Myrna broke a lot of influence.
So we're coming up on this shorting level. Let's see how we do. No volume so far, and we got 7 minutes left, a little bit more than half. So even 40-50s for tomorrow are probably not bad here. And if you guys look at this, how would you play this with fibs? Anyone? So this is our open, this is our high, this is our low. And if you just draw your fibs from high to low, let's see what we do here. There's a tap on the supply. And this would be a really good entry. And guess what I'm going to buy right here?
What?
Yeah, I'm in puts.
Say that one more time, Shorty.
Yeah, I'm in puts here for tomorrow.
Which strike?
40-50s. I got 220 fill here.
Are you still in your spy puts?
Oh yeah, of course.
How you been, Shorty?
Not too bad, man. Just finished a lot of work.
Did you finish that fire pit yet?
Yeah, I finally finished it, man. I'm actually had to buy some on the, what do you call it? I've been rock chairs or whatever the hell chairs are. Stop laughing, dumpster. You fucking bastard. This guy.
All good. That's cool. Awesome. Glad you finished it.
All right, did anyone grab these 40/50s? I think Earth might be in some.
Watching. I made my 5% today.
I grabbed one at 215.
Yeah, you got a better fill than I did. What should be your stop loss here, anyone?
Above previous day high.
Yeah, just above.
Yeah, you want to put it like right here above 41.50, like 41.51. You want to put it right here. You have two supplies here that are going to help you on this trade. My God, Apple's being so innovative today.
You're doing expiration tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I only went 5 deep. I'm not heavy. There we go. And we hit. You guys see how we hit that supply on the dot. So for newer people, if you're using this, you're in a short position. So our entry was right here. Our stop loss is gonna be right here, and our target is gonna be right here.
Jeez.
So this is where we're gonna sell tomorrow morning.
Like 1 to 4, 1 to 3.
Yeah, 3-7. I'm about to play this
Awesome.
out. There we go. And we found the supply off of 10 minutes. So you guys know it was this one here. Maybe like right there. And then if you look, right, I know this might be a little messy now. This is also from last night talk. But we've had a lot of trouble here, and hence why we put that, short the rally if it breaks, go long. So we broke that and came under and retested it. That's usually called a bearish play, right? You break below a certain level, you come for a retest, then you continue going where you're supposed to go, which is 40.75. So let's see. And if they take us out, right, you stick to the rules and you just get out. Once you break 41.50, I would say 41.51. So there's become, look at the risk to reward. Right on at 3. So it's pretty good. The Tesla breaks 700.
40/40 puts to cover your credit, or
No, not at all. I'm only $1,000 in. So look at this on Tesla here in 3 minutes. Look how tight this is right here. Fairly tight open. Did Amazon hit 130? No, very close. Very close to 130, and it has a bearish volume into a bear flag. So we're not able to break the structure on Amazon. You guys see that? That's your structure on Amazon. So if we do break the structure, this is easy, Fibs. Now look, 126.5 should be a rejection. Once we hit this, we're going to go back down and probably go to 120s. And I think it's about to kind of start working towards that. There it goes. Sorry, SPX. So there it goes. It just broke the 61.8. Should be up. Let me see my contract. They're 2.5 now, guys. If anyone grabbed them, I think Slabby grabbed 215.
Yeah, I got one here.
Okay.
I felt 215 too.
Very nice. So if you got multiple, you're gonna get a bounce here. It might be bounce here if they want to make a higher low, 41.25. But I'm thinking that they're gonna go all the way to the trend line now. This right now is setting up for a liquidity test.
gonna be too hard. I can't keep up with it. Okay. Well, hello there.
See, Brooke, what's good with
We got people server muted, huh? Been catching rockets, not playing today. How's ES? The ES hit the levels. Okay. Nice, verify. So this is ABCD pattern literally played out here. Look at this. Hit here, hit the 127 perfectly. So the next one would be 4105 if we break this level here, 4130 now. Does everybody get an idea on actually drawing fibs? Does it make sense? I mean, if you don't, it's better that you say something now than
Go over one more time.
no problem. So let's do this. Let's look at Amazon on like maybe 65 minutes. So if you look at Amazon right here, I mean, you can treat this whole thing as a swing, right? And you always want to find the lowest point, right? So this would be the lowest point. If I grab this lowest point, you know, and I go all the way to the top, what I'm looking at, and you can tell where we're rejecting, right? So you have the gap start pretty much right there at 136.05, and it's kind of weird to talk about Amazon at 136.05. You see that we came back all the way to 61.8, and nice retracement, you know, for a rejection there. So now, if you're like, okay, well, I know where it is, let me see if there's any clusters on Fibs. You grab the same low and just grab the next peak high. And then do the same thing over and over for the next peaks if you want to find like the next level clusters. And it'll tell you where the major resistance is. So you see where the next support is, it's around 85, so that'll be about 1600, you know, pre-split. So now you get an idea of all of these levels, where they are and how it hits. And all I did is basically look at the level, look at the swing. So it's the same swing that I took here. I took a whole swing from high to low here, this low here, and I'm trying to see where is this move replicating in terms of fib ratios. So if this whole thing from here to here is 1, right? But if I add my fibs, I'll show you guys. You guys know I don't use all the fibs. So if I grab my 0 and 1, right? So this is the move that I'm replicating from 100 to 1. I want to see where the 50% of the move is, right? So if I was to, I just want to make sure you guys understand fibs without like ratios. So this whole move is 69.57. If you take 50% of 69.57, what do you get? Come on, Dumpster, you're an accountant.
It's like 34 and change.
Well, we need to change. It'd be 34.78 if my math's right, right?
To the penny. To the penny.
61 lines up with that gap.
So it'd be 34.78. If you take 170.83 minus 34.78, you'll get this 50 right here. And that's how the fibs are calculated. You're just calculating where's the 50% of this one move right here. And then where's the 61.8? And why is it relevant? It's just because 61.8 is the golden ratio of life. And if you guys don't believe it, I'll send you some videos so you can get it. Then you have the 1618, the 1272. And these are, for me, if you're used to some different levels, these are the only levels that I care for right here.
Oh, don't change that. Hold on. Thank you.
These are the only levels I care for. Most people have, you know, when I look at some people on, nothing wrong with it, but if I had all of these checked here, I'm pretty sure I could go on Twitter and say, hey guys, my levels are hitting.
That's funny.
Yeah, and this is what I see sometimes from people. It's like, hey man, every one of these levels hit. Well, yeah, you have fucking every level outlined possible. And the funniest ones are when they when they grab that 0 and 100 and they say rejected perfectly at 100. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock, you grabbed it from there. Okay, so I'm just looking to replicate this move, and then if you wanted to use something like fib extensions, which is similar to what we're doing here, you can find where would the next support be or target be based on the retracement that you had. So I'm basically saying replicate this move here, but starting from this point. And that's what the fib extensions are. And now they're saying, yeah, the 81, the 50% would be here, the 61, hey, is here. And you can do the same for long or short, right? So if I go back, let's say, look at weeklies. I can say, let's replicate this move starting from here, right? So if I start that from here, I can replicate that move and I can say replicate it from here. So now if I look at these levels, right, there's my 61.8. I would say it worked pretty well. 78.6, 127 hit on the dot. And then you guys, you know we accumulated here forever or distributed on Amazon. But all the levels pretty much hit that you needed to hit, right? So that's kind of how you can use the fib extensions, right? It's 3 points. Low, high to the next retracement. And from that retracement, give us the new targets.
For intraday, Shorty, you look at the 65-minute, or could you go down to like 45 or 30?
If I'm day trading, I'd probably use 15 minutes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so if I was to, use this here, if I was to use targets for this guy right here, this would be, my targets, right? So, and this looks to be almost like a, typical day right now. So I wouldn't expect us to break this today, the 128.94. And then the same you could do, like on this level here. I grab high and low, but I want to replicate this move from here. So you can you can play with it multiple times. So if I go from here to here, these are my downside targets now if I want to get in here on this structure. So it'd be about 120. So if it breaks it, so you could play this 124.13 breaks, you can play it to 120. That's how I would play that. This actually might be a good setup here if somebody wants to trade it here. And there goes SPX, right on the money. It hit the fib. You guys see how it hit the fib perfectly here? Let's see what they do now. See what they're doing here. Hold on one second, guys. I'll be right back. We're approaching the VWAP right here and PDH at the same time. I think this is a good spot. Even add more. I hate adding, but this might be it. Let's see if we break the PDD here. It looks like a cup and handle around the bottom here. If we break this VWAP, our stop loss is right here. We'll use 50% of stop loss. Is that cool here? What's Tesla doing? Oh, we missed shot. Shot again. If shot falls against 360s, 350s, I wouldn't mind getting some same calls again, June 17, 400. I think we'll get a rejection here. And they went from 125 to 5 on those SPX. Does anyone know what type of day this is?
Double distribution, triple distribution,
Mm,
choppy.
that could be. It could be double distribution here. So you have value here. They found value here, and you guys see when we went to the value area high of this zone here, they did not accept the price. So they sold it down. So now they're saying, hey, let's try one more time for this price and see if you guys are happy with it. Maybe something fundamentally changed, but you know, I don't see anything fundamentally changing. It should reject here unless the PPT team comes in and is like, hey, we're gonna go buy more. So if this breaks here, 414 on SPY, you can go along on this, and it's gonna go to 415.5. But fundamentally, this should be a rejection here. So if this breaks here at 441 or 442, then it has room, and all the way up to here, 41. So 41.52 is going to be a hard rejection, as much as they want to go push it, but they're not going to get over this level. And what did we say about the big candle? Here it goes. Not able to accept the high value price there, so we get the bigger candle now. So now this is your structure here, broke below. So now the next one is going to be the higher low here, which is 1618. So we should be up now on these. Where are they? Yeah, 225. See what you took. So trying to figure out, this one I played off the point to market circle. You played it long or short? You guys see how much volume is coming in right here? We're creating a shelf right here now. Come on. Come on down. Obviously, this would be awesome now to we create a new lower low. So we have a lower high, lower high. If we have a lower low, this would be the icing on the cake right here. If we break this, they know it. So we want to see that drop.
After you get past that second higher low level right there with that first green candle. I mean, the
Oh, this
green
one
to
right
the
here?
left, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, after you get past that, right, what would be your next target? Is just the 1618, or are you going to?
I'll probably say the 4120 is going to be here, the weekly pivot. And you have your kind of shelf right here, right? So you have a skinny belly. Once you break this right here, you see it too, right? So once you break this, you pretty much have a skinny belly all the way to about 4125. And then it shows up at 4120, the next little bump, if you look at it. But they've accumulated a lot of volume here, and it seems like they're selling rather than buying. They just confirmed. These are at 2-3 now, so there goes your level that you just talked about. You see how they bounced right through it. I'm still in these 40-50s. Did anyone grab them?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I did.
Just broke that lower, higher low from previous moment. They should be coming up to about $3 very soon here if we break that. Apple is really the genius of marketing, man. They have all these features have been out in the market for how long? And they call themselves, yeah, we came up with this new functionality.
The edit and delete messages.
I mean, come on, man. That's crazy.
Like, man, y'all had that all the time.
We have a little mega here. What happens now when it hits this previous higher low that kind of had trouble with earlier?
Shouldn't it retest that trend line and then?
We might not. We might. There's a failed auction here on the bidding side. Right here, 4132. They're really trying. That's where our Momo showed up the last time, and it just broke through it, and they just failed that auction. Meaning, now the buyers. So if you're to look at level 2 tape, so what happens is whenever you dip down, do you guys understand why we go down like on these big spikes? Does everybody understand what happens on the tape side? So if there was a bid and an ask right here, so if you had, let me see what the best way to illustrate this for you guys. Let's see. So if you have a bid here, and then you have the ask, right? And the market price is right here, right? So let's say market price is at 100. They're bidding closest thing, is 99 and a 5 here. And the ask here is, let's say 100 and a. How do you make this go down? Does anyone understand this? How do you get this price to go down?
Keep on eating the lower bids.
Yeah, keep eating the lower bits. That's pretty much what they do, guys. So what they do is there's a seller, and all he has to do is eat up the heaviest bids here, right? So let's say the quantity here is, I don't know, market like this one's 90, this is 55, 25. All he has to do, and then if there's no bids until, let's say here, there's another 2,500 bids, all he has to do is get these big bids out of the way, means buy them up, and then the next one is here. So he's basically trying to do that right here with this failed auction multiple times. If he can get the buyers and buy up all of their bids here, but there's nobody left here, then boom, here it comes. Then we're going to go lower. And that's what they're doing right now in this auction. They're trying to buy them all up. And then we go lower. So, you know, they're looking for liquidity, so they buy it and get you out. And it seems to be working so far, but let's see. And you see how, you know, I mean, if you're looking at this volume shelf, this one wasn't as long here moments ago, right? So you're seeing that there's some buildup. And this is literally, if you look at the volume profile, this is the last straw right here. This right here is the last straw for it before the dump. And you guys see the fight. Then it literally could dump. Just watch it. They lose that level. It goes literally 41.25 from here. So about 7 points drop on SPX. And we just now entered that gap. Now watch. Boom. Here it goes. All the way to 41.26. Beautiful, huh? Did you see that? No, the 40/50s are 265 if anyone took them. This one should continue here. It should break this candle right now. It needs to go lower than this. 41.28. I would expect it all the way to here. Oh, a little bit less. Up to here. 41.25. There it goes. And perfection. That's what we want it. These should be selling here at 3 soon. If you don't want to swing, take them at 3, boys. Here we go. And where do we bounce, guys? Watch this now. Watch this level right here that we had. 41.24-ish right here for the fib. So that's what we call pretty much like a high probability trade, guys. That worked, and we never did anyone panic on this trade. Honestly, I never did. I knew I was gonna get 3 for it.
No,
I got a little nervous.
No, I really never did.
once you started walking through it and just kind of pointing out those levels, I was like, I guess it becomes.
And what did I say? Where are we gonna get a bounce? Did I give you this little area right there? There it goes. So I trimmed 4 at 3-1. I kept 1. There it goes. That was $400, guys. 8 minutes. Well, a little bit more, I guess, a little bit more than 20. Got it here. So a little bit, maybe 28 minutes, and here goes a little bounce. There goes the. So I would definitely not go along here because you would be going against what? Against the trend.
Trend?
Yeah, I don't want to go against the trend unless we reclaim this area here, right? If I reclaimed 41.28, then I'll go along and scalp long, but I'm not interested in scalps today. I'm trying to play a little bit, I'm trying not to stress over the trades much at all. And for me, it was a stress-free day today. Not that it's not every other day, but yeah. And here's your price action, right? So earlier we had a supply here, if you guys remember. This was our initial supply here. And look what we did now. Does everybody understand what happened? Don't make me bring it up. Okay, I'll bring it up. There he goes. I covered this with you guys yesterday. Just tell me if this does not look identical here. We had the support, we dipped below it, and now you're below it and you continue down. We had the support, you dipped below it. Where do you think we're headed? So you have two demands that you're going to play this off of. You have one demand here, and then your next demand is right here, and we're headed there right now, guys. There we go. So now just enjoy your profits and relax. We got 350 on those 40/50s. So now watch this support here. I mean, I'm not showing you anything else what I haven't shown you before. This is where you're gonna get that little spike, where they're gonna look for liquidity to hunt you, but get you out of there, and then they continue, right? And if you look on 10 minutes now, probably it's gonna give you something. Look at the VWAP on 10 minutes here. So you reclaim this level, guys. It has no business for you going long. 41.50. And look what happened. We are going.
There was a bearish divergence on ad as well, like 2 candles before.
Alright, we got 350 on these guys. 380 right now. We're about to be 100%. It's just FYI. And you guys see how quickly they're trying to reclaim the main zone. They're trying to save this right now. Save the day here. So the best thing you can do now is to determine the fibs. We know this was the low. We know this is the high. Now you play this. I could use my stop loss for the runner. I only have one runner left at 41.28. Me personally, I like to round it up to the levels and put a little bit extra. So 41.31 would be my stop loss on this runner. And you just add it there and don't go to sleep at night.
I've just played Apple bear flags all day on the Ashi candles.
Oh, that's probably the easiest thing you can do on Apple because it plays well. You had higher lows here. This was your entry. And then you had a. Do you guys know what this is called? I showed you guys what it's called, right? I've shared this multiple times. When you have, how many candles did it take to drop to this level? From here to here, how many candles?
One.
One? How many candles to get back up?
Shows weakness, you said?
compression moves, when they broken, they're gonna go through this low here. There's a high probability they're gonna be broken and go through it. Right, correct, Richie. That's exactly what it is. You take steps up and then it's elevator down. And we hit that supply from earlier on Apple too. So if you took that, that's a good trade. And same thing here, right? So we had, if you look at this on 1 minute, right? So there's your supply here. And if you guys remember, let me switch to 5 minutes. Here's our supply on this on 5 minutes. You guys see it? Then this comes from 11:55. I'm just gonna look what happens here. So there's no reason that we should, this is a good setup for shorting, guys. We have a lower high, lower high, lower high, hitting into a supply with a 5 minutes VWAP here, guys. This to me is, this is an A+ setup for me. Then you add, watch this now, you add this. Now you have confluence of points. You're hitting what? You have PDH, you guys should know by now, I love shorting retests of orb blow on a weekday. I love playing, if we were to reclaim this orb blow and I see the strength, I will play long retests on orb blow all day long. But here there was no strength. We dipped so far below. We went to 2618, guys. To go from orb blow to 2618, that tells me you had a lot of power in selling. So now they're holding the weekly pivot. They're going to try this. Did I mention earlier that we were going to hit the weekly pivot when we enter the trade? When somebody asked me, what is your target? I think somebody asked me, what is your target, you know, when it was breaking that right here.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that it was going to be the weekly pivot at 4120? And look what it hit.
That's exactly right.
So, and you know, if I was a smaller account, let's say the 5K account, once it gets funded in this process, I'd take my trades here, guys. On that 5K account, we would have made $1,200 so far. So that 5K account today would have been 6,200. Tomorrow we do the same. Now it's 7,500. And, you know, within a few weeks, it's no more PTD on it. And that's when the fun starts. So if you did not trim, this is your, if you have one, this is not a bad place to get out. So now you can play this because we might get a push here. I don't think algo should be up today at this time, but let's see. If you want to be aggressive, 4121, you can play some 4130 calls, 0 DTE here. But there's another bear flag, right? So don't fight the trend. There's your bear flag. If this breaks, the next level is going to be that 4107 for the end of the day close. And then if you think about it, right, in terms of the day, let me just hide this so you guys can actually see it. I'll keep the weave on for a moment. So where's our open? Let's go 10 minutes. Here's our open, right? So this is your initial balance high. For new people, go trading 101 channel and read about the type of days, right? You need to learn that. So what type of day is it?
Double distribution.
It could be double distribution, but for double distribution, you need a little bit tighter range. 4160 to this is fairly decent trade, so it could be double distribution here. If you look at it, let me just change this real quick. So if you look at this, there's your one value, right? There's your distribution there. Then they found value, I guess some kind of value in this area. And then they found value on the bottom here. So if they're unable to hold this value here, this becomes more than a double distribution day. This would be more like extended typical because this is a wide balance range, and then they break it. And usually, remember, extended typicals get broken in the last hour and a half. So we have an hour and a half for them to tell us what they plan on doing here. And then, you know, if you turn on SPX, it's kind of really hard to tell on the volume profile just because there's no shares being traded, what kind of day we're having according to the volume profile. But if you look at it here, you know, it looks like a double distribution day, right? It looks like a B here. You guys see that? So if I was to, I think there's a drawing tool somewhere here. There was a drawing tool somewhere. Highlighter. So it looks kind of like that. Maybe not. So it looks like kind of like this. You guys see that? So it has that middle bump in here, middle belly here. So it could be perfect double distribution. So you have here, the little belly, and then this is your last save here. And then look at this bear flag that's building up on it now. So you're watching this. If this breaks, then you take the length of this, which would be 416, 410, $6 dump from here. That would be a 404 that we would get it. And I don't know how to get out of this thing now. And you gotta see how many nice trend lines you have here. So this is your key right here. You wanna go long? I mean, you don't wanna be here. I mean, you could buy a call here, right there. This is your signal 4132, the bounce right there. You could buy calls here. And then if you check 30 minutes, I don't know. To me on Ashis, this doesn't signify that we were done. You look at 65 minutes on Ashis, this could be a reversal on 65 minutes here. But then it also looks like something else on Ashis here on 30 minutes. You see this? Anyone see anything here interesting? Your head and shoulders up here in an uptrend, and we've been in an uptrend, obviously 380, and now you have left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Now we break this right here, 410.91, and we're going to be entering some really nice setups. Yeah, on 1 minute, honestly, it's hard to do that, man. You don't want to trade 1 minute too much. Their algos are just, guys, they're programmed to manipulate. You can't catch algos as fast as you think you can. So here's your left shoulder, right shoulder. So now you can look at this, and this should not break the 61.8 here, 412.39. If it does, then there's a potential for a run higher, and you would know where to get out. I think this might be it for the end of the day here. There goes 48 ES. If it breaks this, then we know where it's headed. We're about to break this. Like a massive head and shoulders being created here. Yeah, you guys see that? From here to here. Left, right? I mean, this is, guys, look at this. Look at this 65-minute candle here, please. Would you like to swing calls against it?
No.
Yeah.
Hell no.
I'd rather bet my life that, or my money that this is going to go down than not, right? So let's see. Ad's about to dump, it looks like. And we're still in a choppy territory. We haven't even, once we dip here, this is where, there we go, we're about to start the fun part. Watch ad when it breaks this little gap area now. The 133. Watch when it breaks that. Here it goes.
4,000s are cheap, like 0.6.
Yeah, it's just that they can take your money away. Oh, and that was because they're so far.
Yeah.
450s are holding 3.7, so that's good for us. This is your previous support. This is where the liquidity probably is for retail now. And for new guys, just so you know, I don't typically call out plays, but I'll point out the setups that are, you know, worth playing. And sometimes I'll alert the positions that I'm in. Lately, you know, it wasn't a swinging market, but we did take some swings like Shop. I think we took Tesla to 700p. I'm taking some now with AMD and SPY from this morning. It's not an alert service. It's more of a let me teach you, and then, you know, for you to learn how to do this rather than me holding your hand up the whole time and telling you what to do, right? You have a brain, you need to use it.